Hey, this is Bryan.
And Shelby.
And you're listening to the Hyperspace
Pod Blast. Aren't you a little short for a podcast?
Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperspace Pod Blast.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are doing a little bit of a throwback episode.
Yeah, it's like touching on one of our original episodes. We did a Rogue One character swap, where we basically took characters from Rogue One and discussed what would happen if we switched some of their genders or made some of them aliens.
So it was one of our least downloaded episodes.
Oh.
So I guess we decided to try again. Don't worry about going back and listening to it, though. The audio quality's crap. And yeah, we've gotten a lot better at talking since then.
True.
But I think that content-wise, it's pretty good. So today we're going to do the same thing, but from the lens of the sequel trilogy, and also adding in character swap as far as, say, something happens and it's this character. What if it was someone else?
Yeah.
So to start us off, what I found so interesting about the sequel trilogy is that a lot of these characters are already diverse, and I don't want to swap them.
Yeah, we didn't have much of a problem with Rogue One because you have the leading lady, Jyn Erso, and a whole bunch of dudes. So it was pretty easy to pick people.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder who we could make a female instead. Literally anyone. So take a pick. But yeah, the nice thing about the sequel trilogy, and especially I think The Last Jedi, is there are so many females involved in larger roles, not just sort of background flyby things, that it was really tough to try to make some of these decisions. But we managed it.
We managed.
Because that's what we do here.
So what's your first swap, Bryan?
The first one I'm going to go with goes back to The Force Awakens, and I would make Finn Fiona
to
make a Adventure Time reference. But yeah, I think it would be really cool to have a female First Order trooper be sort of put in the limelight, if you will. I think it would be really great for Rey to have that sort of female friendship, because I don't think she's experienced friendship really.
Not much at all.
Yeah, and there's really aren't any people her age, it doesn't look like, on Jakku, so it would be nice for her to have that kind of experience, which, you know, as far as we know, she really hasn't even had ever.
Right, yeah. I think that's important, and I also think, I don't know if this is by design, but we don't see a lot of female representation within the First Order.
Yeah, there's more than there was in the Empire, but there's still not very much.
And not any when you look at the leading characters of the First Order.
Right, yeah, exactly.
If you look beyond, just like some background characters, you don't have that female representation. And like I said, I don't know if that's by design, but, it would be interesting to see that within Finn. I agree. My first one is one of your favorite characters, DJ. And I think DJ as a female would be a very interesting character. I think that it would be very similar to the Valkyrie character in Thor Ragnarok, especially with her kind of drunken, I don't care about anyone but myself situation. Whether DJ is the same sort of I've fallen from grace, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting.
It would. I can't wait to learn more about DJ. I can't wait to learn everything about DJ, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the release, or the announcement, rather, of the upcoming movie DJ, A Star Wars Story.
I'm into it. The line that interests me the most about DJ is that me and the First Order codage go way back. It makes me think, did you create it? And was it, for good, and then it was manipulated by the First Order? Did you basically kind of start the First Order? Were you part of the First Order?
Yeah, it's interesting to see, or it will be interesting to see what his backstory is. Did he have a sort of falling out from being an all-in on one side or the other type of character, like the Valkyrie, as you mentioned? Or has he always just been, for whatever reason, into his whole don't join mentality?
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, either way, I could still love DJ as a woman. His gender has no difference on his awesomeness.
I agree.
Though Benicio del Toro is really cool. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go again back to The Force Awakens, and I'm going to do a pure swap, 1-for-1, Kylo and Rey into Kira Ren and Rey with an A, and I would just call the Kira character Jaina Solo, and it would be cool.
Of course you would. I mean, this is a fairly popular swap, I think.
Yeah. I think the whole taking two leads, if they're, male, female, and doing the swap is pretty common.
Yeah.
But I would really have liked to seen this be the way they did it, actually, because I think it would be super cool for the lead on the dark side to be female.
Right. We need a lady dark side user.
I agree. I mean, we had Ventress, but that was kind of like outskirty, you know what I mean? That wasn't like a mainstream. Not everyone knows that character. It would be really cool to have a front and center female villain like that. And I think, honestly, to me, Kylo was at least as much of the main character of The Last Jedi, if not a little overshadowing Rey. So it's not like I'm taking the spotlight away from a woman, in my opinion.
I agree. I think, I agree with that swap. I like it. It gives that balance in a different way. But I also like the idea of keeping Rey as she is and just swapping Kylo as a woman. I think that would add a really neat layer to the dynamic between Rey and, say, Kyra.
Yeah, Kyra. That's pretty good, actually.
It would be interesting to see that it would still be the same, like, two sides of the same coin situation. And I think it would play into that parallel of you grew up with a family and I did not.
Yeah, and it would be an interesting take on their sort of like twinness, if that makes sense. Because I think, at least in my experience, it's much more common to have same gender twins. So it would give them more of that, sort of separated at birth twinness.
Yeah, making them more identical in a way.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Obviously, they're different ages. So I'm not trying to put this weird theory out there that they're actually, the
twins,
the solo
twins
separated.
No.
Yeah. But they're sort of cosmic twinness, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, twins in the Force.
True. Yeah, there you go. That sounds good. That sounds more on brand.
I also like the idea of Kylo going back to, I guess I'm really into Ragnarok right now, but maybe I should do an RFFF on it. I don't know. Kylo being like a Hela character.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool too. If his mask had all those like horns and spiky things, that would be very cool.
So my next one is actually Lor San Tekka being a woman, this very wise older lady, and I think that would also play into her being a lot like Maz, but different.
Yeah, absolutely, because you'd have Lor is this sort of, forced religious, kind of contemplative, out there kind of, I don't know, almost Mother Teresa-y like figure. Mm-hmm. And then you have Maz, who is the cantina castle owning, into all this scum and villainy type character.
Jetpack flying.
Yeah, exactly. Like
kooky. Yeah, I love it.
Solving a union dispute with blaster fire.
It's great. It's great.
I think
they'd be friends.
Yeah, they have that same sort of thread, even though they're so different. It would be neat if they were like, I don't know, Grace and Frankie kind of.
Oh, I like that too.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. If you don't watch that show on Netflix, you should check it out. But yeah, my next one, I'm going to go in now to The Last Jedi, and I'm going to take the Praetorian Guard, and I'm going to make them all very obvious aliens.
Okay.
Like all of the same kind. Like maybe they're these 8. They're kind of like Snoke's version of the Nogri. Let's say that. Thrawn has this special alien species. It's his, assassin / bodyguard. I think it would be cool if Snoke had his own. It would sort of add to the allure of the mystery of Snoke. Oh, where'd he come from? Where'd he get these guys? What are these guys? And it would be awesome. Plus, just the more aliens you can shove into Star Wars, the better, in my opinion. So.
I like the idea of them actually being the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, that would be if they were just obviously the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, or they mentioned it. I don't know. That would add to that betrayal of, them versus Kylo. That they are still loyal to Snoke in death instead of him.
Right, yeah. And they're either named after him or they're all named after the group. However that ends up working. That's still of, one of many things that are like, what's up with that?
I think there was something even said that, like, that's why Ryan didn't make them the Knights of Ren, because they were going to have to die.
Yeah, if I make them the Knights of Ren, then I'm really destroying JJ's sandbox.
I think that
like
was
that
said
comic.
somewhere. Yeah, exactly. But, no, that is a funny comic. Yeah, I agree. I think having them as aliens would be very cool as well. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Knights of Ren are also aliens. I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe the Praetorian Guard are aliens. We can't tell. I mean, we thought...
And they could be women. They could. I mean, who knows? That's the thing. They're faceless, and I think that adds to them in a lot of ways.
It does. That's true. But I think it would be cool, too, if they were all, like, sort of identical-looking aliens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It still plays with that symmetry.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, or if they were each two pairs of different aliens.
Oh,
I want that better now.
Yes, I do too. That's great. I like that because they're both the same alien and the same weapon.
Yes.
That's cool. I like it.
That would be rad.
Okay, that's my new
headcanon. And each
canon.
pair would be like a male-female set.
Oh, I love it.
Then it's all even and matched. Ryan, if you're listening.
So my next one is my other really cool headcanon now. I like the idea of Unketplet. And maybe not even swapping him, but giving him a sister, Unkar and Unketplet, and they always have some sort of power struggle going on Jakku.
Yeah, they like her station is like across from his. Yeah. They just heckle each other. How many portions did you give away, Unkar? Don't talk to me, sister.
That's really great, Brian. I hope someone writes a fanfic of this because I want to read it.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
But that's mine. There's really not a lot of depth to it other than just I find it fun.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with fun. Anyway, I'm going to do one now that's probably going to make some people mad.
Okay.
I apologize in advance. I'm going to take Captain Phasma out of The Last Jedi. I know. Instead, I'm going to insert another high-ranking, this time devoted trooper in, let's say, black armor. It could even be shiny, like Phasma's is just black. That would be cool. And when you get to that eye reveal scene, she's an alien.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Neat.
Yeah, and I mean, we could have basically the same situation. She could come and intercept Finn, and, she could be the one that does all the things that Phasma does. It could just be this new, like, her whole, like, motivation could be to succeed where Phasma failed, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Phasma let this guy get away, and they blew up Starkiller, and now I'm going to step in, and I'm going to stop this guy, and I'm going to be better than Phasma, and then, nope, sorry.
See, my swap for Phasma was actually BB-9E, so we actually get that droid showdown between BB-9E and BB-8. Maybe also both of them in the walkers together.
Some droid mech warrior
that
fighting.
Would be so fun. I'm pretty sure, like, this is also one of those times where it's like, it's a good thing that I don't write Star Wars, because we would get that and people would be like, what is this?
I know, right?
But I would enjoy it. Although, I mean, maybe not even in the walkers. I would actually like to see some sort of, like, droid struggle between the two of them. I think that could have even been more powerful than Phasma and Finn.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously BB-8's the one that saves the day, so it would be neat if BB-9E got to come in and almost ruin the saving of the day. It would be kind of neat.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you keep Phasma, but you just plop BB-9E in there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just add it as an addition.
Though,
I mean,
that. If you read the Phasma comic, I think most droids probably steer clear of Phasma.
Yeah. My other one is Hux being Lady Hux.
Yeah, I think that would work really well.
I think that would be a really cool dynamic between Lady Hux and Kylo. That sort of power struggle would be very interesting to watch that take place.
Absolutely.
I think that Lady Hux would look a lot like the officer in Battlefront 2.
I know, right? It really
honestly,
does
whenever I see the officer in Battlefront 2, I think, oh, that's Lady Hux.
Yeah, if you made a female clone of Hux, it looks like that's really what they did. They just had Hux in mind, and they're like, what would a feminine Hux look like? We're going to run with this.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. I think that would translate perfectly. And it's
And
another
I also
situation-
like the idea of Lady Hux giving that speech, and to be able to see a woman give that speech would be super powerful. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times when you see women be aggressive like that, people say they're overly emotional or they can't control themselves. But I think it would be great
Yeah, absolutely. There's
to disprove that stereotype.
correct. Just have it would be interesting to see a female in that kind of zealot-like role, like as the leader. That would be really cool.
Yes.
I would be into it.
Basically Phasma, but instead of brawn, more brain.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then those two could they're already, I guess, friends. So then, them palling around would be even more interesting.
Yes.
Gal pals. They would be like the version of Ray and my girlfriend.
Yes. Just make them all women.
Yeah, let's do it. Girl Wars.
Wait, what?
I can't speak.
Try again.
Girl Wars.
I'm all for it.
Let's
Make
do
me
it.
my t-shirt right now.
Heck yeah, that would be a rad shirt, actually. So I guess I'll go next. I took Holdo and I made her live because I put Poe in her place.
Oh, so like Poe has, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
That's how he learns his lesson.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's very poetic.
Yeah.
But it's also
turns
like
it into a self-sacrifice to save everyone else instead of pushing everyone to sacrifice themselves to, do what he wants.
Oh my God.
Or what he thinks is the thing that should be done.
Ugh.
But yeah, I don't think they would let him just do it. So I think there'd have to be some caveat where he was piloting the ship, but he had an escape pod ready or something. And then, when he sees them start firing on the cruisers, he makes his Holdo dash. But I think that could have been an interesting turn. Not that I want it to. I really like Poe. I don't want to see his character die, but it would have been cool to have Holdo carry on and to see what she and Leia
do
could have
together.
built. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not ready to let go of Poe, especially considering how we know that he barely survived The Force Awakens.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually did a character swap for Holdo, and I said instead of Holdo's sacrifice, it's Leia.
Yeah.
Because it would be such a great way for Carrie to go out.
Exactly.
And I also think that it would really play on that foreshadowing you see when Leia does her force pull back to the ship and she crosses through in almost the exact same place of the projection of Snoke's ship.
Yeah.
The hologram.
Yeah, that would have been intense. We would have missed out on some great Leia Luke stuff.
Right.
And just, hindsight and everything. Like, I would have been disappointed had Carrie not passed if that's what they would have done, I think.
Yeah.
But given the current situation, that would have been,
It would
you're
have been
right, that
kind
would have
of
been
perfect.
amazing.
I mean,
think
it would
I
just,
would have...
I would have bawled even more than I did.
I would have, just been
Crumpled into a
inconsolable
ball
in
on the
theater.
floor.
Yeah.
It would be, that's about all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Woof. All right. So let's stop crying for a minute. Anyway, I'm going to swap Master Yoda as a Force Ghost, and I'm going to put Anakin.
See, that's funny you say that because I also wrote down Yoda with, and I actually kind of left it open-ended, another Force Ghost, whether it be Anakin or Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I can see Obi-Wan. That would have been hard to do. So logistically, that one's kind of crossed itself out. Though I think it would be a really nice story moment, sort of, bringing it back to where it all started. He got so much advice from Force Ghost Ben when he was being trained himself that, now it sort of...
He's getting almost like a final lesson
right,
from him.
what ends up being the end, we don't know it at that point, but that would be really cool. But I also think, first of all, having Anakin there, it would be nice to see Anakin's Force Ghost do something besides
Wave.
stand there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, look kind of menacing.
I think that having his father come to talk to him in this time of feeling very conflicted about someone else in his family.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it keeps it in the family. They've said so many times that the saga is about the Skywalker family. So it would have been neat to inject that extra Skywalker family member back into the story. And to show that maybe Anakin is, still around and he's still the redeemed Anakin. He's still...
It confirms it, and it also kind of, it's also interesting because it would shut down the idea of Force Ghost Vader talking to...
Right, yeah, exactly.
To Kylo.
Show me again.
I think that would be fascinating. It would answer some questions, but it also would just be cool.
Yeah, and, it would be cool to see Hayden get his moment.
Yeah, exactly. My next one is really, I just want some more legacy aliens in general, especially in Canto Bight. But my next one is an alien swap with Connix as an alien.
Oh, yes.
I think that seeing an alien in some sort of military position other than Akbar.
Yeah,
and Raddus.
Yeah, the pilots, basically.
Yeah, I'd like to see... I think that would be a very interesting dynamic. Also, seeing that alien, having her interact with Poe, I think that would be cool. It would add to that layer, of kind of like how Raddus was like, okay, whatever, I'm going to go do my thing. That these aliens are like, we're going to just do it in terms of what, their hastiness to take action.
Yeah, since Connix was sort of on Poe's insubordination side. There is that one alien that sort of walks around in the background, but he doesn't do anything. And, other than that, it's basically legacy aliens because they're legacy characters. So I would definitely like to see, like, I don't know, a Rodian Connix or like a Zabrak Connix would be really cool.
Ooh, that would be very cool.
You could even give her the same hairdo, just add spikes.
Okay.
Very cool.
I also think that the kids in the stables, at least one of them should have been an alien.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I thought about how cool it would have been if Broom Boy was an alien, because then you could be like, yes, the future of the Force is alien.
Yes, please.
Yeah, but I also kind of like the juxtaposition of all the people that are rich and powerful on Canto Bight are aliens, and then the lowest of the low, like the child labor slaves probably, are the humans.
Yeah, that's a neat way to look at Canto Bight.
It's like, this is the only time you'll hear me say it's okay that there are humans and not aliens.
I also think, going again back to The Force Awakens, I think Lor San Tekka would be a cool alien.
Yeah, that would be cool. Especially if, like, you could tie him in with Snoke somehow. Like, maybe they're the same species.
Ooh.
They're like these ancient, just like Force-loving beings.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Absolutely.
I also had some character swaps. I think it'd be interesting if you swapped the sacrifice and saving on crate of Finn and Rose. So say, instead of Finn trying to go down the throat of the cannon and Rose knocking him out and saving him, which, not to take away from Rose's big moment, but it would be interesting to see Rose trying to sacrifice herself and Finn saving her. But I think that kind of degrades the idea of, Finn learning the lesson that it's not just about him and his friends.
I think he could learn it that way too, because it could be, I can see Rose trying to do it because, you can see when she meets Finn, she's like, oh, you're a hero. So
it would make sense for her character.
Yeah, because then it would be her moment. She could be like, okay, this is how I become a hero. And then Finn, like, bam, slams her out of the way, and it's
or maybe instead of Finn doing it, it's Poe.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
I think that would be neat,
because this time, instead of
him
sending someone to their demise, to save or for the greater good,
that would drive home the point of him learning his lesson.
Right, I think so too.
I mean, you'd miss the kiss and all that stuff, but I think
they could add that later.
They could, yeah, exactly. I think that would be cool. I think, now that I'm thinking about it this way, having it be Rose trying to save the day and Poe knocking her out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that adds.
You could almost.
I think that adds to both of their stories. It adds to hers of learning to be a hero and be brave like her sister. It gives her that moment. And it also says, you're not going to die like your sister. Like, you are going to live to fight another day.
Yep. Yeah, we can get through this another way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always about sacrificing.
Yeah.
Because, I think that's kind of what Leia was trying to tell him, is you could only sacrifice so many
much,
times,
yeah.
because then you run out of things.
Exactly.
Like, what are you fighting for
Dead
at that
heroes,
point?
exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of Poe and Rose, I think it'd be interesting to have the two of them on Canto Bight instead of Finn and Rose.
Yeah, I can see that, because maybe Finn doesn't want to leave in case Rey comes back.
Yeah.
And, Poe is really so gung-ho, I'm sure he would have been happy to do it himself.
Yeah. I mean, it changes a lot of stuff about, I mean, that in itself would change a lot about The Last Jedi.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's kind of the main story in this situation. I mean, it's just as important as the other Kylo Ray story. So I think that'd be...
it's the non-Force version of the story.
Exactly. And speaking of the Force, I think it would be interesting if instead of projecting himself, Luke projects Han.
Yeah.
That would mess with people. I don't know if it'd be too unbelievable, but I mean, none of those people except for Kylo saw Han die, except for Finn.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Stranger things have happened to someone who's been injured by a lightsaber and fallen down a long corridor.
I see what you did there.
But what I'm saying is that would really mess with Kylo.
Yeah.
I think that would do the same sort of...
What if what Luke does is instead of projecting himself as Han, he meditates so strongly in the Force that he allows Han's Force energy to coalesce, and then it actually is Han, and he gets to say goodbye to Leia.
Stop it.
And he gets to confront his son, and his son tries to kill him again, but he can't. Oh, snap. That'd be crazy.
All right, podcast over. Oh, man. Yeah, that's basically, that's it. That's all I can think about now.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I had some other stuff, but I can't top it.
I think we're about out of time anyway.
That's true. Anyway, if you have thoughts about all of the stuff that we've just dropped on you here, or if you have other swaps that you think would be interesting and would like to talk to us about it, you can hit us up on Twitter at hyperspace_pod.
Email us at hyperspacepodblast@gmail.com.
Or check out stuff on our website, hyperspacepodblast.com.
And if you're in the mood for a little audio entertainment, head on over to www.audibletrial.com/hyperspace, and you can get one free audiobook plus a 30-day trial of Audible.
All right, talk to you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.